Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Makers with Heart collaboration video hop. This month, the Makers with Heart are celebrating the Operation Smile stamp set called Your Smile. So we're showing various ways to use this stamp set. So I'm going to show you how to make 2 cards. The papers that I'm using are the Valentine collection called Love Notes. And then I'm also going to use an older stamp set called Kutsch card making, and it is still available. And then I thought I was going to use a couple other items, but I wound up not using them. So I'm cutting off a piece of this peach dot paper from Love Notes, just big enough to cut that arch shape from Kutsch. Okay, so I'm just measuring the die and then deciding how much to cut, and I'm going to stamp all over this piece of patterned paper. Okay, so I'm going to load all of my stamps onto my blocks. I'm going to use the various hearts that are on this set, and since this is a new stamp set, I need to season them, so that's why I'm rubbing the stamp on my wrist there. Rubbing it with microfiber or on your skin removes the coating that's left behind from production. And after you do that, then the stamp is ready to take ink, and you don't have to season again. But if you have trouble with ink beading up on your stamp, just go ahead and season it again and it should be good to go. Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of random stampings. So the first color I'm using is Candy Apple with this larger heart with the solid heart. And I'm just stamping in various spots, and I've got scratch paper underneath to catch the excess ink that goes over the edge. And then I'm stamping with Scarlet with this dashed line smaller heart, and then there's a solid one that's even smaller, and I'm going to use Scarlet with that one and just do random stamping to cover up this, or to put stamped images all over this piece of patterned paper. Okay, so I'm going to run the arch die through my die cut machine, and that piece is good to go. All right, so I'm going to cut some more pattern paper. I have this piece of Scarlet that has a bunch of hearts scattered all over, and I'm kind of looking at it and deciding how much I want to be seen, and I've decided that I want a white border on my card behind this piece of Scarlet, and then I'll put my arch over it. And then I'm going to bring in some of these, what are they called? The white word strip die cuts, and I'm going to stamp my sentiment on them. Okay, they're a medium weight chipboard, not quite chipboard, but they're a nice hefty weight, and they're dovetailed on ends, and you have various strips to stamp your sentiments on. So I'm going to stamp "You Make My Heart Happy" on both of these strips. Okay, and then I'm just going to shorten them a bit by chopping off the end using my guillotine trimmer so that they fit inside that arch. Okay, and then the next treatment I'm going to do is I'm going to add some peach ink to each of these word strips to change the color a bit. And I just have a blending brush and my Altenew sticky mat, and I'm just going to add a little ink to each of these strips to add a little peach color to them so that they match the background, kind of. So we'll do both of those. And then I'm going to bring in the flip side of this peach colored paper. Has sort of a newsprint background on it, and it has a lot of Valentine sentiments and I don't know, quotes from different poets and authors. So I'm going to stamp this heart image in Candy Apple, and then I'm going to fussy cut it. So cut that out real quick. The easiest way to fussy cut is to hold your blade and then move your paper against it. And if you leave just a tiny little border around the outside, you don't have to be quite so precise. Makes it a little quicker and easier. Okay, so I think we're ready to start assembling here. But first, I laid everything out and I looked at my background and it just looked like there was a white space there. So I'm going to add another little heart to fill that in. Okay, so I have a card base and then we'll just start layering everything up. So I'm just going to glue everything down. This is the Precision glue press from My Sweet Petunia. And I love it. It makes it so much easier. It's got a needle tip to add your glue, and then your hands don't hurt quite so much or at all with this one compared to those tiny bottles with the needle tips. Lots easier. Okay, so I've decided that I want it to strengthen this arch piece. So I cut out 2 more pieces of white daisy and I've layered them underneath just to give them a couple extra layers and a little more thickness to that piece rather than popping them with foam tape. That way it's even all the way across and it adds a little strength to the whole piece. And then I'm just going to lay my sentiments and that little heart piece out. So these are dots. This is the red dot collection, and they're not just circles. You get stars and hearts. So I'm going to pull a couple of the candy apple colored hearts off and put them next to each of those word strips so they kind of look like bullet points. And they're forgiving. You can kind of scooch them around and make sure they're straight, and until you're happy. You have a couple seconds to reposition. So I'm just going to glue down each of these strips. And I realized that second dot needed to go down just a little bit, so you'll see me scooch that one down just a wee bit. And then I'm going to pop that heart shape with some foam tape. So we'll just bring in some of the thin foam tape. We'll put a couple strips of that on just to pop it so it's even with those word strips. And then for the last touch, I'm going to bring in my red shimmer brush. I believe now they're just, they're called Candy Apple, but when I bought this, it was just called red, but it's the same color as Candy Apple. And I'm just going to add a little shimmer and shine to this heart because it didn't completely stamp out solid. And this is an easy fix for those images that are not quite precise. You can cover them up with some shimmer. And there's my finished card. I think it turned out cute. Lots of hearts. Okay, next card, I'm going to do a slimline. So this is the card base for slimline size. And I'm going to use this large smile stamp on it. I thought I was going to use one of these little clouds, so I'm just loading it on a block. I wound up not using it, but it's ready to go if I wanted to. So I'm going to use this rainbow, and I'm not going to use traditional rainbow colors. I'm going to color it in with coordinating colors to the Love Notes collection. So I'm going to use 2 tri-blends. One is the coral color and the other is deep red. And I'm just going to use variations of those 3 colors that are in each marker and just quickly color in this rainbow. And I'm not doing any shading or blending, it's just straight up coloring in. So I'm just gonna speed this up super fast. Wish I could color this fast, but it was pretty quick, so that's why I left it in the video. So we'll just get color laid down. Non-traditional colored rainbow, and then I'll fussy cut it. And this one, it's really easy to cut out too. So I'm just leaving a thin white border and cutting around that. Then I'm going to bring in this other pattern paper from Love Notes. It has teddy bears and hearts and envelopes and all kinds of fun images. I'm going to cut that, my base size for a slimline, which is 8.5 by 3.5. And then I've got this pattern paper again with the script written all over it. And I'm going to cut that at 2.5 by 7.5. You can see at first I went down only 1/2 inch, and I felt like I wanted more of that pattern paper behind it to be seen. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it down some more. Okay. So now we're ready to do some stamping on this pattern paper. So I'm going to bring my MISTI in, and I'm going to stamp this large smile. And then I've loaded the other sentiments onto blocks so I can stamp around it. But I wanted to use my MISTI to stamp the smile stamp because I want to stamp it twice in black. And this way I can get a nice deep dark stamped image there. Okay, so we'll just load that up and it's good to go, and we'll stamp that out in black ink. And then we'll ink it up again and stamp it again. So I have created a playlist of all the Makers with Heart videos for this month using the Operation Smile stamp set, and I'll put a playlist at the end of this video, and I'll also put a link in the description below, so make sure you check out everyone else's videos to see the cool things they've done with this stamp set. So we're making cards or layouts, all kinds of cool things. Okay, so I've stamped that twice, and now I'm going to stamp my other word sentiments around my stamped smile. So it's going to say, "Your smile warms my heart." Okay, and then I'm going to use the rainbow in that white space there. But first I'm going to stamp this little sun ray, sunburst stamped image in honey butter. And I'm going to put it in the corner so that the rainbow is going to be kind of overlapping it. Okay, and then I felt like I needed to frame this whole thing just a wee bit more. So I'm going to bring in a Le Pen, and I'm just going to doodle a line around the edges in a deep red. It kind of matches the scarlet color that's part of the collection. So I'm just going to doodle a line around the edges. It just adds a little something to frame that whole piece. So it's not just floating in the center of the card. Okay. All right, now we're ready to start assembling. So I'm just going to glue down the pattern paper, and then we'll layer our stamped piece on top of it. Pretty simple assembly. Get that one down. And then we'll add the rainbow that's kind of overlapping the sunburst. So I'll make a list of all these supplies that I used with links in the description below, so you'll be able to find everything that I used if you want to recreate this card. A portion of your purchase of the Operation Smile stamp set goes towards the Operation Smile charity. So it's a great donation there, and you get this wonderful stamp set that's very useful. So then I'm going to finish it off by scattering some more of these dots, and these are from the red dot collection. They're just a lighter color. And there's that card. We'll bring in the first one, and we'll show you close-ups of the slimline. So cute. I love that bold smile image. So I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. Then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.